the room now, and yes, Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
We are
Happy New Year.
a minute to go before we go live, and our dear Letty will tap the record button shortly. Just a gentle reminder to mute your microphone and only unmute it if you have something to share or got questions for John or to any of our artists in the room.
Today, I'm going to do pans today.
You're going to do pens?
Pans,
Ah, I'm going to go to your live Facebook.
Yeah, we are streaming. We are on standby for Facebook Live.
Mhm.
Okay, Letty. And John, we are on Facebook. Whenever you're ready, John.
Okay. Well, hello, everybody. Welcome to Thursday, the end of the year. It's gone by very, very quickly. Thank you for taking part over the many, many months. Today, we're going to be looking at pan colors. I picked out about 5 of this set. I'm going to be sending a link probably over to Facebook, and I'm going to ask Letitia or Ethel to put the link up on Zoom so you can actually see the colors I'm talking about. But we'll go through as many as possible. Let me just join Facebook really quickly. But we'll go through as many as possible.
What are you going to share? The sets?
Yes. I'll show you. Okay, so we're going to be looking at the ultimate mixing set.
Oh, yes.
And we'll look
We'll
at,
be pasting the link in the chat room, John.
okay, so you're going to do it? Fantastic.
Yeah.
Colors of inspiration. We'll look at the earth set, the floral set. I don't know if we're going to get past that, but if we do, I have the other sets as well. So we'll look at quite a few of the sets. So the pans are the same pigment, same formulation as well as the sticks and the tubes. They just have very little moisture. There's less than 10% moisture in the pans. All right, so I thought we would look at those. We'll start with the ultimate mixing
This
set.
might answer your question.
No, don't.
Seattle, Washington's elevation.
Sorry about that. Alexa loves to be part of the conversation. Okay, so we're going to start with the ultimate mixing set. This is what the ultimate mixing set looks like. It's 15 colors. It's going to have the buff titanium. It's going to have the burnt sienna, the cerulean blue, Hansa yellow medium, Indian red, Jane's gray, phthalo blue green shade, phthalo green blue shade, pyrrole scarlet, quinacridone gold, quinacridone rose, raw umber, ultramarine blue, pyrrole crimson will be part of this set. So let's look at that. Jane Blondell helped picking out many of these colors, and if you look at the link that is being put up, you can read more about the set. So I'll go over each color, description of it, what it does, etc. So I thought we'd start with the buff titanium. And so I just sprayed these a second ago to what Lauren says to wake them up. And the interesting thing about the pans and the sticks, you can always take off exactly what you want.
I just used that buff titanium today for the set on the beach.
Oh, yes.
Right here.
Oh, beautiful. So for sand. Oh, awesome. Okay, and then the next one is the Hands Yellow Medium. Hands Yellow Medium.
I can't see your palette there. I'm seeing other people, but not yours, John.
Ethel, can we pin John?
Hang on, Letty?
I have already. I have already.
Okay, thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Hello, Besnick. So Quinacridone Gold. That is
John, can you tell us how these colors came as, how did you formulate and pick these colors for this palette?
So let me show you that. That was, we were helped in that by Jane Blondell. So let me show you here. Let me put it right here. I think you already have the link. So what Jane says, the ultimate watercolor mixing set for beginners. And she starts, I'm often asked what colors are recommended for people to buy to get started in watercolors or to upgrade to artist quality watercolors. I created the ultimate mixing selection to address this question. It is 15 colors consisting of 14 single pigment colors and one convenience mixture. I've recommended and used the Daniel Smith watercolors for almost 20 years. So this was helped by Jane. And then she goes over each and every color that's in the set. For example, Hands of Yellow Medium is my favorite primary yellow, neither warm nor cool. It is bright and beautiful and very clean in mixes. Alternatives include Hands of Yellow Light if you want a definite cool yellow, or you might use azo yellow or quinacridone yellow. So then she goes over each color, which I really like about Jane's teaching.
Excuse me, John, where do we find that?
I will send, so I thought Ethel put that up. Ethel, did you put that up? Or if not, I can do it here. I'll do it here. Control V. So there it is on Facebook. And here it is. There it is on Zoom. So I did this for
Thank
every
you so
set.
much, John. Thank
Oh,
you
yes,
so
you're
much.
welcome. Yeah, I did it for each and every set, so you can kind of see what the colors are and you know, what makes them special and what kind of why they were picked.
I'm sorry, but I'm still not seeing John's screen all the time. It's, I don't know if there's anything you can do, like mute everybody. I don't know, but
So I think the way it's set up right now is whoever's talking that goes to the screen. Can you lock that out, Ethel, or lock that out, Letiza?
And we need to repin your screen, John.
But it is, I can see only him, but maybe it's only my side, right?
well, I see you right now and
Okay.
anybody who talks. So I think if everyone was muted and then when you want to ask a question, unmute yourself.
It's not about the muting, it's
Letty?
about the settings. It's about the
Yeah. Letty, can you help me repin John's screen?
It's already pinned and in evidence for all.
Thank you.
So this is the ultramarine blue. And kind of the neat thing about the pans, again, you can take off any amount of color you want. Different than the sticks. The sticks are going to have a different consistency like we saw last week because you can actually draw with the sticks. You'd have a difficult time drawing with the pans. The sticks have a little bit more moisture than the pans, but the sticks have less moisture than the tubes. This is Cerulean Blue Chromium. Cerulean Blue Chromium, ultramarine blue, Cerulean Blue Chromium. Phthalo. Phthalo blue. God, they're just intense colors. We're having a little bit of technical difficulty. It's a year-end gremlin. And this is the phthalo green blue shade. So if you're in Zoom, you can actually ask me questions directly.
John, how new is this set? Or how long has this pan set been available?
So we've had the pans for a couple of years now. It's been available. It's because we sell through distributors. It's different times in different parts of the world. It really depends on when the distributor brings it in. Although you can, it's the world, and there's always ways of getting something. So not that long compared to the sticks or the tubes. It's the newest child. Let me put it that way. Are there any of these you'd like to see mixed? Trying to read both sides here.
Yes, I'd like to see that buff titanium with that green.
Awesome.
John,
Yes.
are there any plans to do a similar kind of thing with a full pan set?
So we there is right now two sets, two bigger sets. There's the 15. There is a 12 in a steel case, and there's a 24 in a steel case. Do you mean all of them? All 40 plus of them?
I'm more talking about the size of the pan.
Oh, the size of the pan, so maybe go to a full pan.
Yes.
That's something I certainly would think about.
Because they're nice and convenient in size for certain things, but if you're a big brush user, they can be incredibly fiddly small pans.
Yeah.
But that's the way it is, isn't it? You're saying that that's the reason why we have tubes.
Yeah, creating things for me is always a huge amount of fun. It doesn't always appease the retailers and distributors because they have to change their whole displays, and almost everywhere right now, space is so finite. Gabriel, is that kind of what you wanted to see?
Actually, I didn't want to interrupt the conversation. What I was hoping to see was if you could put the buff titanium down and then sprinkle the green, like how we were kind of like
Puts it on there.
splattering it,
Yep.
like splattering the green into the buff titanium. Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely.
And when you're having that palette on there, it's helping focus the camera really well.
Oh, good. Oh my God, my desk is not happy.
We're gonna make your desk look like an artist has been there.
Oh, yeah. It's kind of, this is just a sample of what my whole desk looks like. But that's part of the fun.
I really also like the Lunar Black with this buff titanium done in the same way, where it allows this wonderful color that's been made in the lab, and then we put it with this other color that is of a mineral, and they work really well pushing and pulling.
So we can look at the Earth set, which is 6 colors, and that's going to have the Lunar Black, so we can play with that one.
Nice.
Yeah. So that's the buff titanium and the phthalo green blue shade. So phthalo is just such a strong color.
John,
Yes.
could we have a look at the buff titanium and the red?
Absolutely.
See how that goes.
Yeah.
I don't know which red it is. What red is it?
This is the Pyral red.
Right. Yeah. I'm
So kind of
suspecting it's going to make some kind of pink. Might do.
let's see. mixed up on myself here. Yeah, that's the, this is the Quinn Rose. This should be the Quinn Rose.
Queen Rose and permanent alizarin crimson, the previous one.
And this one is going to be the, should be the Pyrrole Red.
No, the
Oh.
permanent alizarin crimson.
The one that's a more orangey red, more like a, what they call it, a fire engine.
So
Could be right, could be, it's not the Pyrrole Scarlet.
we have Pyro Crimson and we have Quinn Rose.
This is going to be the Quinn, this is going to be the Quinn Rose. Let's see. Yep, so it's,
I'm sure it would look nice with some kind of caput mortem kind of color as well.
so let me show you the red and the buff titanium. Back a little bit. Okay.
John, what red is that?
This
For the
is
Pyrrole?
this is the Pyrrole.
John,
Beautiful
I'm sorry,
effect.
this is the permanent alizarin crimson.
No, I think this is the Pyrrole Crimson. Pyrrole Crimson.
Lui non sta usando quelli del set.
Sì, sì, sto usando questi.
Because there is no alizarin, the alizarin crimson is not part of the half pans. So this is the Pyrrole Crimson.
Oh, okay, sorry.
That's okay.
Johnny, in the chat is a link that Ethel put up. If you click on that, it'll take you to a website at DS, and it'll show you the colors that are in the set.
If you look at that graduation from that, it's very reminiscent of what you would use to do a poppy. Look at that, it's got a lovely graduation from that light to that. Very
Beautiful.
pinky. Yeah, and then that strong red next to it.
Very cool. I can hear you, but I can't see you.
And that's because you've got lighter in your
This little brush is probably better, but I like this bigger brush. Which color do you think this is?
Indian red.
Yeah, Indian red, yes. So if you, I put the link on both the Zoom and on the Facebook, and you can see that there was a color palette that was done as well. That might be of interest here. set all these up today with the spreadsheets for each one of them to go over the color index, etc. And it's like everything else. We want to get out of, this is going to be the ultramarine. God, that's beautiful. So this is the ultramarine.
John, you're working on the earth tone set.
This is the ultimate mixing set, the 15 color set. I put the link to it down there. Is that what you're asking me?
You have the link in the chat, both in Zoom and in the chat in Facebook.
So this one is going to be Jane's Gray, which is the 15th color out of the set. So we can look at the earth. So the earth is going to have Mars yellow. Let me put the earth up there so you can see it while I'm doing this. Earth. Control C. Control V.
I apologize, I jumped the gun on that one.
Okay.
But yeah, the Jane's Gray is really awesome. I love her story about how where she goes different places in the world, that the grays look different.
There we go. Yeah. I think the way that it's being done right now, so whoever talks takes over the screen, which is absolutely fine by me, but I think some of you are saying that. That doesn't normally happen, but that's fine. So this one right here, yes, yes.
If you go to the where the all the people are at the top, and you click on you, you go and put your pointer on you. A little 3 dots come up. You click on that, and it says pin, and that will pin you to the screen. But you have to do it individually. Okay. Whoever you are.
Ian speaking, John.
Can you do that as well?
You actually pin your screen.
Okay, so this is going to be the earth. And the earth is a 6 color set. So you could buy any of the pans separately. And that's really kind of a good thing. And we do that with the sticks, and we do that with the tubes, we do that with the pans, because sometimes you just want to buy 1 or 2 to try them out, or and so you can. And then we were asked many times, well, if I wanted to set, what would it look like? So we put together some sets, but you can go either way. You can do sets, you can do individuals. So these are 6 colors. In this right here, we have bronzite, which is a Primatech. We have buff titanium. We have the burnt Sienna light, which is transparent red oxide and quinacridone. We have the Mars Black or Lunar Black, which Gabriel was talking about. And we have the raw Sienna light. And lastly, we have the Venetian red. So that makes up the earth. And you can go to the link I just put on there to see more about that if you'd like. So let's go ahead and look at those. It's kind of interesting because as a US company, and we had stores and catalogs at the time, and we were providing our product to our retail stores and our catalog. In the US, tubes were very common. And in parts of Europe, pans were very common. And it's when you're trying to put product through and you're starting out as a small company trying to put out product throughout the world, you have to choose kind of how you want to do it. So we stayed with tubes, and that went very well in Europe. And then we looked and said, well, pans are also very historic, and they offer artists another alternative of what to use to paint with. And that's why we came out with the pans several years ago. So this right here, that is Lunar Black. And the one thing we can do with the Lunar Black, actually the black will move away from the yellow. So anything about a Lunar Black, if we put it down and we wait, the yellow is gonna push away from the black. It's not like a lamp black which would cover the yellow up. It'll actually move away from it. So let me just show you that. You probably see me do this a lot. But you can see so the interesting thing about Lunar Black, it kind of defies granulation. Usually granulation is caused by differential specific gravity. Something weighs more than something else. Something has a different shape, so it moves through the valleys differentially. Lunar Black is the single pigment. So you wouldn't expect a synthetic single pigment, which is absolutely identical in shape and weight, to ever granulate, because that's the definition. Something has to be a different weight and a different shape, and that helps with the granulation. Yet this really, really granulates, and it's a synthetic, and it's same size and same shape. So very, very interesting from that perspective.
And the Lunar Black also comes in a stick.
It does. It does. And did you want to see the buff titanium and the Lunar Black? Is that what you're saying, Gabriel?
Yeah, I think it's magical. It's just a beautiful combination.
Giovanni, Gabriel, do you have tube or stick that you could actually do it on your side as well? You guys do really beautiful.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
So there's the buff titanium. And we'll do the Lunar Black. Ian, I saw that you were going to try the tubes out, the sticks out. Did you get the sticks to be able to try them out?
Just so happens that I was just about to tell you about that. Let me see if I can find my camera. Yeah, can you see that?
Oh yeah.
I've just got some test ones. Hopefully in New Year, I'll be getting what I would call a pallet's worth of paint. So I've just got you. What have we got?
Oh, very cool.
So I'm waiting on the little things for them. The little boxes that they come in. So
These
I've
little
got 20
here.
of them. 20
Oh,
of them
wow.
coming as well. So hopefully by end of January I should have maybe a set of 24 fruit broad range of them. So
Awesome.
I'm looking forward to it. I've not actually ever, I've only ever used one, had one tube of your paint ever.
Which
I've only,
tubes?
I mean, it's a lot less developed here in UK than what it is over your way. But yeah, there are one or two shops actually near me now that actually sell lots of your equipment, so that's good. That to me is important. When it comes to buying materials, I'm a bit of a touchy-feely person, and I want to have a look at it, and you know what I mean. So I don't know if I'm a bit of a traditionalist in that sense, but I like to go into an art shop and purchase things if I can. Although these have been bought off of the internet from.
Art store. The one thing I learned early on, we've had a finally closed the art store just to do total manufacturing, but we had almost 44 years. And the one thing I would see over and over and over and over and over, not only are artists very, very visual, they're very, very tactile. Because whether it's tubes of paint, those taking off the cap to actually see, the actual paint inside, or if it's a pen or a stick, to be able to write on it. And I think many times people just say, oh, that's just artists are visual. They are certainly visual, but also very tactile. They want to touch the materials, etc. And I think when you really love or you're passionate about something you do, you want to fully embrace it in every aspect. And that's more than just the visual. So I get that. Yes, absolutely understand. Okay, this was the bronzite. This is the Sienna light. Sienna light. So Gabriel, were you able to do a mix?
I did.
Can you show it, please?
Yeah, it's right here. We have the buff titanium and from the stick, and then I splattered from the stick with my brush, flicking it onto the surface. And this is not 100% cotton. This is more like a 75%.
Very cool. And Giovanni, how about you?
This from take the with brush on the stick, and this the stick the dot on the directly on the paper, wet on wet. Buff titanium, lunar black.
Both of you do really nice mixes. Very nice. Very nice.
You're welcome.
Oh. And the last two colors of the earth, let me read what's going on Facebook. Okay. Raw Sienna light and Venetian red. So let's look at Venetian red. Got here so the camera can focus. Okay, so that is the earth.
John, what is the difference between burnt sienna light and Italian burnt sienna?
Okay. So burnt sienna light, we have burnt sienna light. Burnt sienna light is the transparent red oxide and the quinacridone gold. Between that and the Italian burnt sienna, so the Italian burnt sienna is just burnt sienna. So it's Italian sienna that's then put under or within a furnace to change the oxidation state. Whereas the other one is a mix of two different pigments.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
John,
Yes.
just on the subject of similar colours, I've often wondered why, from a pigment viewpoint, why they call PR101 synthetic red oxide and PR102 natural red oxide. Did natural red oxide come out first, or were it synthetic?
No, well, that could be, but there's two different societies that give it the color index. There's the textile and there's the colorants. And so the two of them, when it's submitted by the manufacturer, decide where it's going to go into. So not so much whether it's natural or synthetic, it's kind of where they're going to put it to match up with other similar colors. But for us, it's a really good question. And for us, the reason that we have so many colors, look at the color chart, there's just so many colors. I'm asked, why do you have so many yellows? And there's crenathalone yellow, there's Hansa yellow medium, there's Hansa yellow light, there's Hansa yellow deep, there's new gamboge, etc. And it's because the pigments all have different qualities. Some of them might be transparent, some of them might be semi-transparent, they might be opaque, they might be granulating or non-granulating. So it's really allows the artist to make a decision not only what do they want to see, but what are the characteristics that do they want. Misha, who's on many times, or Lauren, who are realist painters, very seldom want granulation. So they're going to pick non-granulating colors. Then you have people who belong to the Society of Transparent Watercolor Society, and they're not going to want ones, for example, that are semi-transparent or opaque. So it really allows the most amount of flexibility for the artist to choose before they ever start their painting what it is that they want. Many times I'll hear someone say, well, if I can paint anything I want to paint with 8 colors. And I wouldn't argue that. That may be very true. But what you can't control is you can't control the nature of the pigment. So if one of those colors happens to be a granulating color and you don't want granulating, you're going to get granulating because that is the nature of the pigment. And so we really believe that it gives the artist the most control. It's kind of the same theory behind the gum arabic. The gum arabic really, as you watch me do this, and I will not say I'm fantastic at doing it, but it's how much water that you add, to get certain depths of color. And the gum arabic really puts you in control of how much water you put. Whereas other ones, if they're more hydrophilic, water loving, they're going to take on the water they want. So kind of a very long answer to a very short question, but your question was very good. Thank you. Okay, so let's look at another one. And let me put this one, this is going to be the Sketcher. And it was kind of looked at in terms of a, you know, a sketch, a 6-color sketching set that you might want to bring with you. Let's see. Put it over on.
We'll paste in the chat
um,
the sketcher set link, John.
I'm sorry. I'm gonna put it up to you. I don't. Unless you've already done it. There we go. So that's going to be the sketching set. These are sets I would normally travel with. I do get asked sometimes, you know, how come on some the color will come out of the plastic? And that just, again, that's also depends upon the pigment. Some pigments, if the surface tension is greater, will pull away. And the more they dry, the more they'll pull. But it's very easy resolved because the first time you put water, the gum arabic is going to go back into solution. And once it goes back into solution, it'll hold from then on.
John, in the same painting, can you use both tube paints and pan paints?
Oh, that's an excellent question. So yes, they're absolutely intermixable because the stick and the pan and the tube so all three have the same binder, which is gum arabic, and they have the same exact pigment. The only difference between the three is this one contains the most water, this one the second most, and this one the least. So this has about 10%. This might have about 12 to 13%, and this one has the most. I mean, it's wet in the tube. So yes, they're interchangeable. It's whatever you want to use. And a good way of thinking of that, just to kind of draw it home, is when we do dot cards, we actually get a tube and we do a dot like that. And then we let that dot dry for several days. And then when you get these, if you've probably all used the dot cards that we have, you would just touch it with water and it would instantly turn into paint again. It's the same principle. All you're doing is adding water, you're adding water, and you're adding water. That's the only difference, is how much water you're adding to the three. Other than that, they're exactly the same. That's a great question. Thank you.
Thank you.
And when you do finish, like say the Jane's Gray, what's helpful is if you fill this back up, what you can do is you can take your tube of paint and fill it back up, and you could take a little like a toothpick, and in there you could just kind of like stir it around until it fills in there evenly. Sometimes when you just put your tube of paint back into this pan after you've gone through it, if you have the tube of paint, and if you just take that little toothpick and swirl it around, it'll make it nice and even in there for you.
Great tip. Thank you. So this right here, one of these is equal to a 5 ml tube of paint. So this is a 15 ml tube of paint, but if it was a 5 ml, it'd be 1 5 ml is equal to this. The interesting thing is, if you take your 5 ml tube that's in the tube, you could probably fill 2, maybe even 2.5 of these. And that's because of the water content. Because we're actually doing these in layers, we're taking out all of the water. When you do it with a tube, it still doesn't take out all of the water. It's still going to have more moisture in the center of it. But you can fill them up as Gabriel saying, you can actually use your own tube to fill up the pans. Okay,
Seriously,
so
like 6 months ago, I was not a believer of pans because I thought if I work from a pan from a painting, I'm not going to get nice thick pigment. And these pans, they get really buttery. So like John was talking earlier about spraying these before you get started, it kind of activates it. And like you said, it has that little bit of water still in the center. And so I was just, when I got my set and I paint daily, I paint each day, I noticed the pans, they softened up really nice. As opposed to if you were to cut open an old tube of paint that dried up, it may take a little longer. But my fear of painting at first with the pans was I wasn't going to be able to get the thicker paint. It was just going to get only to a certain, it was going to be really thin paint, but that was not the case.
awesome. Okay, so this right here is the Sketcher set. And the Sketcher set has Cerulean Blue Chromium. It has the Hansa Yellow Medium, the Lunar Blue, it has the Quin Rose, Transparent Red Oxide, and Ultramarine Blue. That's Ultramarine Blue. Okay.
John,
Yes.
it'd be nice once you swatch those out to see whether there's what they look like as glazes.
Okay.
Just to see how that yellow goes over that blue, for example.
So do you want me to just,
Wants to dry, obviously, as a glaze.
you want me to put one over the top of the other?
Yes. And see whether the glaze actually going to look quite nice. That.
Gabriel, Giovanni, is that how you guys do glazes? Do you do it like I just did there, or is there a better way to do it?
I'll let it dry, but I think Giovanni will give a great example.
It's generally a glaze when it's dried. The layer's dry, and you just go over it.
Did you want to share, Gio?
Ok. Migli, devo farlo io, non ho capito. Ok.
And this is my favorite color. This is the ultramarine blue.
No, John, it's my favorite color.
You know, I was looking at the Indanthrone purple or Indanthrone blue. That is a pretty color too.
How is it different?
One is a mix. I'll tell you about Indanthrone blue.
Yeah, Indanthrone blue is my favorite blue.
Indanthrone?
Yeah.
So the Indanthrone blue is just Indanthrone blue. It's PB60, pigment blue number 60. And the ultramarine is going to be the PB29, pigment blue 29.
Mark has an example.
Yeah, that's Indanthrone blue.
Oh, that's pretty.
It's nice and deep.
Yeah, that's nice. Is that cobalt teal blue on the, is that like a turquoise on the bottom?
Yeah, that's yeah, cobalt teal.
Cobalt teal.
Yeah, and then Quinn burnt orange.
Very cool. That's neat. That's
Thanks.
very nice.
Thank you.
So that's Montignano. All right. Ella, can you blow up Giovanni's?
Spotlight.
Very nice. Well, that's some of the sets. There's still a 12 and a 24. And I think what I'd like to do probably as we go into the new year is if you have questions, I love your questions. So Ian, thank you for your questions. Mark, thank you for showing your artwork. If you have questions, love questions. It helps me, especially if I get stumped. I really, really like it because then I get to learn something. Just let me know what you'd like to see. It'd be great. Thank you all for joining. It'll be almost 2 years pretty soon. It's gone very, very fast. It'll be good next year to be able to get out and actually see you in person. I hope to see all of you. Thank you for sharing the year with me. Thank you for taking part too, more than just watching. Thank you for taking part. It's been fantastic. So happy New Year, all of you. I wish you all health and happiness, and I look forward to seeing you in the new year.
Fine, let's do a gallery
Happy New
view
Year.
and let's take a
Happy New
picture.
Year.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year, everyone.
Happy
Can we all
2024.
stay? Hi, can we all stay for a couple of seconds? Let's take a picture.
Happy New Year. Ciao Giulia.
Happy New Year.
Ciao.
Ciao, Bella. Let's take a picture.
Ciao.
Hello, Bill.
Can we do a gallery view and let's have a picture for our year-end session?
Yeah.
Okay. Letty, let's do a gallery view, and we'll ask Letty's help to do a just a screenshot with everyone in the frame.
Awesome.
Let us know, Letty, when it's done.
We are in gallery view, I think, aren't
done.
we?
Yes, we are on Facebook and we are on Zoom.
Yes, that's lovely.
Thank you, everybody. Happy New Year.
Thank you.
you.
Happy New Year.
Thank you all.
Bye.
Thanks, John. See you all.
Bacione.
Till
Ciao,
next
ciao,
year.
ciao, ciao.
Happy New Year. See you next year.
Bye-bye.